What drives a person to become a serial killer? A chilling question, isn't it? The haunting world of serial killers often leaves us grappling with unsettling thoughts. Psychologists theorize a myriad of reasons: a troubled childhood, societal alienation, or perhaps an inherent, inexplicable evil. One such case that shook humanity to its core was that of Matthew Macon. In 2007, the city of Lansing, Michigan would come face to face with this chilling question. Matthew Macon began his killing spree in the summer of 2007. A wave of terror washed over the peaceful town of Lansing, Michigan, as one after another, lives were brutally extinguished. The initial victims, unsuspecting and tragically caught in Macon's web, were the first to fall. The city, once known for its quiet charm, was now held hostage by an unseen horror. The murders were seemingly random, with no discernible connection. The victims varied in age, gender, and background, leaving the police baffled and the community in fear. As the days turned to weeks, the once bustling streets of Lansing became eerily quiet, the laughter replaced with whispers of fear and uncertainty. Each new death was a chilling reminder of the lurking predator, whose identity remained a mystery. The city was gripped in the vice of terror, each sunrise bringing with it the dread of another life lost. As the death toll rose, so did the city's panic. Soon, a terrifying pattern began to emerge. The Lansing police were faced with a string of violent crimes that seemed too similar to be mere coincidence. Each victim was found in their own home, their life brutally extinguished. They were all older, living alone, making them easy targets for a predator lurking in the shadows. The method of operation was chillingly consistent. The perpetrator would break into the homes under the cover of darkness, overpower his victims with brutal force, and then leave without a trace. The victims' possessions were often missing, suggesting a motive beyond just the thrill of the kill. The police started to connect the dots. The chilling similarities between these crimes pointed to a single, horrifying conclusion: a serial killer was stalking the city of Lansing. The victims, their homes, and even the method of operation all fit into a pattern that was too distinct to ignore. As the pattern became clear, a manhunt for this ruthless serial killer was underway. The summer of fear would finally come to an end. In the sweltering heat of August, Matthew Macon's reign of terror was cut short. Local law enforcement, working tirelessly, had finally cornered the predator. With a carefully orchestrated sting operation, they apprehended Macon without incident, bringing a sigh of relief to the entire community. Macon's capture was a result of meticulous police work and a healthy dose of serendipity. Investigators had been closing in on the killer, following a trail of evidence that led straight to Macon's doorstep. A crucial tip from a vigilant citizen, who had noticed something amiss, was the final piece of the puzzle. The evidence against Macon was overwhelming. His fingerprints matched those found at several crime scenes. Personal belongings of the victims were discovered in his possession, a macabre collection that left no room for doubt about his guilt. The relief that swept across Lansing was palpable. Residents who had spent weeks in fear, locking their doors and peering out windows, could finally breathe easy. The shadow of dread that had hung over the city was lifted. Parents once again felt safe letting their children play outside, and neighbors began to trust one another again. The capture of Macon, however, was not the end. It was merely the first step towards justice for his victims and closure for their grieving families. The process of healing had begun, but it would be a long road ahead. Matthew Macon, Lansing's own serial killer, was finally in custody. The city of Lansing breathed a sigh of relief, but the scars remained. As the dust settled, the impact of Matthew Macon's monstrous spree was deeply felt across the city and beyond. The families of the 7 victims were left to grapple with a reality that seemed unimaginable, a loss that was as profound as it was sudden. The city itself was left shaken, its sense of safety and community deeply marred. It was a collective trauma that would take years, if not decades, to heal. The trial further compounded this pain. The details that emerged, the cold calculation, the utter lack of remorse. It was a chilling reminder of the darkness that had briefly taken hold of their city. Macon was eventually sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, a small consolation for the families and the city he had so ruthlessly terrorized. Matthew Macon's reign of terror was over, but the echoes of his crimes still haunt Lansing to this day.